When the lions attacked this bull, they hardly thought that the hunt would end with a flying lesson. But the bull turned out to be so cool that he launched the enemy into the sky with one blow. These herbivores refused to be submissive prey. The crocodile lies in wait for the victim at the watering hole, then suddenly jumps up from the murky water, scares the prey, grabs it with his teeth, and drags it to the bottom. Usually this plan is almost a win-win, but here the reptile clearly does not know who it is coming into contact with. Buffaloes get scared when huge jaws suddenly peer out of the water and dodge them. But not only do they not run away, but they immediately come back. The biggest bull doesn't like to be joked about like that. He waits for the crocodile to attack again, after which he throws the reptile back with a powerful blow. Never before has a crocodile felt such like a tennis ball. It is unlikely that he will attack such ungulates at least once more. But this crocodile was lucky. If he still grabs the buffalo, the ungulate will push him to dry land, where it will begin to trample him with its sharp hooves. For these herbivores, only the largest crocodiles can pose at least some kind of threat. Once a crocodile grabbed a buffalo by the leg and tried to drag it to the bottom. The bull pulled the crocodile onto dry land, after which they raised the reptile onto its horns with the whole family of buffaloes, trampled it, and then threw it back into the pond. This case was a miss for when the predator has real luck. The main feature of a wild bull is its bravery. If he notices a threat from afar, he will go on the attack himself and not give in to panic. Most herbivores, on the contrary, are very timid. A zebra or wildebeest is larger and stronger than a lioness. But a predatory cat easily pulls in even a group of animals to flight. The bull is another matter. Predators soon realize that they messed with him in vain. Such a hoofed animal surpasses a deer in ferocity, and at the same time knows how to fight wisely, using all its advantages by 100%. It seems that he is happy to fight with a predator that keeps the whole of Africa at bay. The weight of a wild buffalo can exceed half a ton, that is, twice or 3 times the size of a male lion and 5 times larger than a female. Therefore, hunting such a giant resembles storming a fortress. Lionesses surround the buffalo and try to overwhelm it or get to its vulnerable parts. What would you do in the event of such a siege? Would you panic? But the bull retains amazing composure and repels all attacks. He reacts with lightning speed and immediately turns in the direction of the impact. The buffalo acts even more aggressively than the lions. But this is not because of evil nature. It's just that an only aggressive and offensive is the only chance for this buffalo to survive. And he understands this. Lions are not very hardy, but due to the numerical advantage, they can attack in turn and exhaust the victim. They don't care when the bull falls down in 10 minutes or half an hour. Therefore, only a breakthrough of the environment can give the bull a chance to survive. And if he also injures one of the predators, he will be able to cool their ardor and force them to retreat. Carnivorous animals are brave, but if they meet a worthy rebuff, they most often leave the victim alone, because they have to spend less energy on hunting than the meat they can give to them. Otherwise, what's the point of attacking prey at all? Therefore, the bull sometimes starts chasing the lions himself just to keep them away. A male lion is much stronger than a female and can even cope with a buffalo one-on-one. But if the hoofed animal is experienced and brave, even 2 experienced males will not be able to cope with it. The buffalo seems to be playing with the enemy. It maneuvers, repels attacks, and does not allow itself to be driven into the ring. His main weapon is powerful curved horns. They have a very wide impact part that acts like a battering ram. And on the sides, there are sharp tips that can rip even a strong rhinoceros skin, not to mention a lion's. This male can weigh about 1/4 of a ton, but the bull easily throws him up to a height greater than human height. The lion is in shock, and for other predators, this is a great lesson. No one wants to experience something like that. Sometimes, in order to cope with even one bull, you need about a dozen lionesses. And even then, the herbivore has a chance to escape and fight back. However, the main advantage of the buffalo is its herd. It is bulls that most often come to the aid of their fellows when compared with other herbivores. Can you brag about friends who will attack angry lions for you? Buffaloes can also get scared and run away from the threat. But if they come back and come to the aid of the buffalo, which was surrounded by lions, this battle will look epic, like some kind of battle in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Bulls break through the environment to predators, attack them from the rear, in flanks, and literally scatter huge cats with powerful blows. And the family of ungulates reunites in a happy ending. Harsh Africa rarely sees happy endings, but this is just such a case. Or maybe you were rooting for the lions who were left without lunch and even with broken ribs. Answer in the comments. Sometimes bulls even drive their enemies into trees, and all to teach a lesson. It's better not to have anything to do with these ungulates. Probably the lioness will remember it well, don't you agree? There is even a rare record of a clash between two armies, a small pride of lions and a huge herd of bulls. The lions were clearly trying to cause panic in the herd in order to then repel the weakest buffaloes and deal with them. But it didn't work out. The herd untied and pushed the predators to the river. Now the lions have taken a circular defense, and the buffaloes scared them and chased them one by one. It's amazing how quickly predators and prey swiped places. As a result, the buffalo still did not throw the lions into the river and could not trample any of them. But the lions were literally a hair's breadth away from this and barely carried off their paws. The enmity of buffaloes and predators led to one unique episode when the bulls rescued an injured male. He invaded someone else's territory to capture him, but he was outnumbered. Two males who were masters of these lands defeated the alien. He fought back fiercely, but the enemy's fangs had already closed on his throat. When suddenly, the bulls intervened. They drove the lions away from their prey and saved the wounded male's life. Moreover, one of the buffaloes even slightly hit the wounded lion, as if telling him, "Don't relax, we don't like you. We just wanted to teach these two a lesson." After that, the ungulates left the wounded male alone and allowed him to leave in search of another place to live. Maybe someday we will see a lion fighting on the same side with bulls against hyenas. That would be cool. However, maybe these buffaloes have post-traumatic syndrome, and they can't watch lions strangle someone, even another lion. What do you think was the motivation of these bulls? Share your opinion in the comments. The largest and strongest land predators of the planet are bears. But even this beast has to run away in panic when it runs into a bison by mistake. These giants are close relatives of bulls. The bear thought that he could scare the herd and cause the ungulates to panic, then attack the laggard as wolves do. But the bear clearly overestimated his reputation. The bison were not impressed by him. The huge animals rushed together to attack the predator and drove it away. Probably the bear ran much longer than he was being chased, just in case. Not very brave, but smart, don't you agree? And if you want to learn more about bison, then write about it in the comments. If you think that buffaloes are cool only against smaller animals, then you are wrong. They don't mind fighting with stronger opponents either. If you are walking in Africa and accidentally met a rhinoceros that behaves peacefully and calmly, don't relax. He just doesn't see you yet. This animal has such poor eyesight that it notices another animal only at a distance of several feet. It scares him. It's like you're walking down the street when suddenly, out of nowhere, another person appears next to you. Pretty scary, right? The problem is that a scared rhino is an angry rhino. With a weight of up to 3 tons, he can afford to attack anyone. By the way, if you want to see the most epic battles with this animal, then let us know in the comments. It may seem that the buffalo and the rhinoceros are equal rivals, but this is not so. It's just that the buffalo is tall thanks to its long legs. The rhino is 5 times heavier and several times stronger. And yet the buffalo withstands his monstrous pressure for a few seconds and pushes the enemy himself. It's as if you could use your hands to stop and push away a motorcycle that is coming straight at you. Of course, the rhinoceros overcomes the bull after some time, but he obviously contacted the wrong opponent. Any ungulate would have already tried to run away. But this bull does not only get to his feet every time, but he also starts a counterattack. His relatives help him, distract the aggressive rhinoceros from themselves, attack from the flanks. As a result, a group of buffaloes manages to repel the attack of the rhinoceros. And although the main defender suffered serious internal injuries, he survived the crushing blows of the rhinoceros, which could have uprooted a tree. Pay attention, the bull's hide even withstood the stab blows of the horn. Is she bulletproof? Maybe scientists should look at its structure to create a new generation of Kevlar. Excess energy and aggression need to be put somewhere. In the wild, the bull needs to protect the herd. But in a city or village surrounded by people, you have to look for other ways to let off steam. To do this, the bull was given an empty passenger car to be torn to pieces. It's an amazing sight, because the animal lifts a piece of metal 3 times heavier than itself on its horns. The bull strikes powerful blows that leave dents the size of an adult's head. The bumper flies off, the parts break, the body bends. If there was still a chance to fix this car before meeting with the animal, then now it can simply be handed over for scraps. For a bull, this car is like a punching bag for a heavyweight fighter. Just a nice way to spend time. When a herd of buffaloes came to drink, suddenly a huge hippopotamus got out of the water. These aggressive beasts have obvious anger control problems. Just don't try to hint to them about therapy. It only pisses them off more. As soon as a stranger comes to the territory of a hippopotamus, the animal goes into some kind of frenzy. With the weight of about 4 tons, armed with fangs almost as long as an adult's arm, and even under the protection of a dense and thick hide, the hippopotamus causes danger in other animals and can drive anyone away. Except buffaloes. If the family wants water, it will get water. The leader will distract the aggressor on himself, and the rest will support the leader. Dominic Toretto would be proud of these horned ones because they know what the value of a family is. A huge bear came out of the forest to catch a domestic cow. He sure underestimated the ungulates. Not only were they not scared, but they went to get acquainted with the bear with the whole herd. As a result, the predator just ran away. And this is an ordinary domestic cow. The tiger is one of the few predators on the planet that can handle an adult bull one-on-one. This huge cat surpasses even a lion in strength and can break a buffalo's neck with a blow of its paw. During the attack, she uses a cool fighting technique. She throws herself on her neck and does a somersault in flight. This is acrobatics. The purpose of such a trick is to bring down the bull, despite his 2-fold weight advantage. The plan was effective. The tiger hung onto the victim and had already reached the throat. It was not possible to break the neck, but still the buffalo had only a few minutes of desperate struggle. At least that's what the tiger thought, but he didn't know which bull he was messing with. And it's not the strength of this animal, but the fact that he has loyal friends. There was a group of these buffaloes nearby, and the tiger decided that all these ungulates would run away in fear. Mistake. They tried to fight off a kinsman. However, the tiger was not only able to defend the prey, but even rebuffed the bulls and chased them. That was the decisive moment. It turned out that this was a tactical trick. The bulls only pretended to be scared in order to force the tiger to abandon the victim. And when the tabby cat started chasing them, the ungulates suddenly turned around to counterattack. They went into a frontal attack to trample this predator. The tiger had to flee. Unfortunately, the bull's cunning plan worked too slowly. The injuries of the wounded bull turned out to be too strong, so the striped cat will still get her lunch. But it is unlikely to ever approach this herd again. After all, these bulls know how to play with tactics and strategy. Who knows what kind of trap they will come up with the next enemy this time. Bulls often fight with other herbivorous horned animals. For example, there may be a duel between a buffalo and a yak. Musk oxen and yaks are quite rare animals with a limited habitat. Because of their massive hunchbacked bodies, they may seem clumsy, but do not underestimate the monstrous strength of these creatures. Musk oxen live in the northern regions of Eurasia and America. They are quite distant relatives of ordinary bulls. But the yaks, on the contrary, are closer to them genetically. Yaks live in the mountainous regions of China and other countries of the Himalayan region. According to one of the laws of biology, the further into the cold climatic zones, the stronger and larger the local animals become. Therefore, it is not surprising that musk oxen are much heavier than half a ton, with a height of about 5 feet. Just look at how this musk oxen, for the sake of training, smashes a huge log as tall as a man into splinters. With each blow, huge chunks fly off the tree. The musk ox rushes to the target at the speed of a projectile. And this despite the fact that the animal is just having fun. Surprisingly, the duel of this buffalo and a yak looks unexpectedly noble. Unlike the cruel rhinoceros, which tries to pierce the victim with constant stabbing blows, both ungulates collide in a frontal attack and simply try to overpower each other without unnecessary violence. It seems that for them, it is something like a sport. After all, they do not compete for the females, a place in the herd, or a territory. Maybe it's really just entertainment for them. What do you think? The snow leopard is one of the few animals that can defeat a yak. This panther is smaller than a tiger or lion, but also has great strength and agility. However, this time the spotted predator contacted the wrong enemy. He attacked the yak calf, hoping for easy prey. The cub almost gave up, but his mother was not afraid of the enemy's fangs and claws. Yaks are large animals. Males can reach a weight of about a ton and a height of up to 7 feet, up to 2 meters. Females are much smaller, but their size also inspires respect. This cow went on the attack and recaptured her offspring with lightning speed. The snow leopard was almost trampled by sharp hooves, and he had to run to look for prey with a less strong character and powerful horns. There are regions of Asia and Africa where wild bulls coexist with domestic ones that are on free grazing, and there are often conflicts between them. Strangely enough, but life next to a man has not pampered a domestic bull at all, which gives a powerful rebuff to its wild cousin. Just look at how confidently he pushed his opponent away. An indomitable power that you don't expect from a pet. This was in vain. After all, these animals spend a lot of time in an open area, so they have to repel the attacks of not only uninvited hoofed guests, but also predators. It builds character. The buffalo realized too late that he had contacted the wrong opponent when he came to this field. He expected that he would get juicy grass and possibly the females of the herd. But instead, he got crushing blows. The bull not only repels the wild buffalo, but also strikes him with his horns in the neck area. Both animals are at risk because they cling to each other and can seriously injure their eyes with the sharp tips of their horns during a power struggle. Fortunately, this is not happening. The bulls beat each other several times, converge in the fight, while the cows watch the outcome of the duel with interest. Interesting. Who do you think they're rooting for? The duel of two Gaurs looks especially impressive. This is the name of the largest representatives of the bull family. Their weight can reach 2 tons at a height of more than 2 feet, more than 2 meters. They live in tropical regions of Asia, so they have very short fur. Every steel muscle under the polished hide stretches like a string when 2 males come together in a duel. They butt heads and try to avoid sharp blows with sharp horns, but at the same time they powerfully ram each other with the shock part of the head and sweep away everything in their path during with such a duel. It is not surprising that even young Indian elephants give in to Gaur with his pressure and combat capabilities. A horned animal can push an inexperienced elephant into the depths of the jungle to feel freely in a spacious field. Only a tiger can pose a threat to Gaur. But if the cat does not manage to sneak up unnoticed, she will have to retreat. Otherwise, the horns of the ungulate will show that it is better to get involved with somebody else. And what could the bull surprise you with? Share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so that we can see each other more often.